We begin our meditation today. Let's sit in a comfortable posture. That is the posture of the physical body. Keeping the back as straight as you can. Take the stress off the neck. Keep the head up and chin parallel to the floor. Just relax the shoulders, the chest, stomach, belly, thighs, calves, feet. Let the hands relax. Just breathe out slowly and completely. As you exhale, just think of letting go of stresses. Breathe it away completely. And as you take the in-breath, just think of recharge, refilling. Open the belly to breathe. Open the chest, breathe into the throat, taking the shoulders back, that you may completely fill the lungs. Be lung conscious. The body is important in your meditation. It should not be stressed. Breathing not only brings more oxygen into your body, but it brings prana. And you can feel its pranic energy if you focus on the third eye and the medulla point. Using the ujjayi, you can actually feel that prana is coming down into the body. The mind also stresses the body, so you want to relax the mind completely. You want to let go of every stressful thought that plays in the mind. So being mindful, being conscious of the mental space is extremely important, and learn to relax it completely. Just letting go of every thought, every idea, every mindset that is stressful. Be mindful, mentally conscious. Keep that focus at the third eye, medulla point, and just enjoy, if you can, how you bring prana into the body. As you breathe in, open the belly to breathe, open the chest. You want to breathe fully into the lungs, bringing oxygen as well. And breathing out carbon dioxide. You want to open the belly fully so that you can get the firepower going. You can tap into firepower, vitality, core vitality. Open the belly to the fullest. Not a relaxed belly, completely relaxed, but a slightly tense belly. Just tense the muscles a little bit, hold them firm. That brings more attention to the area. And for those of you who can feel energy, you can actually feel the pranic power of the chakra, the fire power. Good for the immune system, good for digestion. Good for nervous system power. Same when you breathe into the center of the chest, you're not only opening up the rib cage to fill the lungs, but you're also tapping into a chakra there, the heart chakra. And you can recharge the nervous system of the lungs, or the heart rather. And you can recharge your organs in the area through prana of the second chakra, or heart chakra. Breathe into the throat area, and then to the medulla and the third eye. And just enjoy recharging the brain with the prana, with oxygen. And learn to really appreciate body's intelligence, body consciousness, by observing what happens to the body as you breathe deeply. It's not just an exercise of breath, it's how your body feels. You breathe so that your body feels better, more recharged, more vital. And the breath is a marvelous tool, coupled with your focus. Pause at the end of the out breath. Pause at the end of the in breath. This gives more management of the breathing experience and holds you into the deep silence of the gap. At these points. Now just remember, we are sharing a field, a common field of energy. I can feel or experience the collective energy of the space, and so can you if you open your awareness to the collective space. It's a supportive space. It's a synergized space. You can bring in a mantra if you wish into the mind for additional mental control. Now just observe for a moment whether you have peaceful mind, loving heart, and vital core. Being grounded in the physical body so you have balance at every level. And let's make it a nourishing meditation as you focus on the spinal column in breathing up, taking your attention up. This is a recharging column of energy. You're tapping into the pranic energies along the spinal column at the various centers. And as you breathe out, focus on nourishing the body, nourishing the nervous system. Breathing down from the brow to the belly, and then breathing out right down to the root. So in the breathing out, you're giving. Deep silence. In this meditation, you're creating balance between body, mind, heart, and the vital core of the gut. You're nourishing every level. So your focus is extremely important, because wherever your mind goes, prana goes as well. Breath is very important. And your intention is extremely important. Your intention, of course, is to create balance, to recharge, to rejuvenate, to revitalize. To stay aligned to the field of infinite power. And to open up all the borders that tend to limit your mind. Free the ego of limited consciousness. And now stay in that space with me. Let it happen. There's an evolutionary power inside of you that will lead the way if you open yourself to co-create with it. To follow it with your attention, to align with your intention, and to let it lead. That's co-creation at its best. Now slowly come back into gross body awareness. Just breathe deeply up the gross air. Opening the belly to breathe again. Chest, breathing into the throat area, opening up the shoulders. Always remember that when you breathe out completely, you're able to breathe in fully. So initiate the breathing by breathing out first. What this does is that it brings more oxygen to the brain, and it also allows the Manas chakra of the brow to work with the senses, the physical senses, in a more energized and awakened way. So it's always good when you're coming out of meditation to focus on the external part of the brow that's associated with the chakras and the senses and the elements of nature. You have the power to breathe in a more gross way and a more subtle way. So learn to use that effectively. More gross body takes you into the gross body, more gross breathing takes you into the gross body, into the awareness of the elements of nature and into sharper physical senses. I'm nourishing every area just by breathing into it. Breathing into my throat and brain and nose, and then breathing into the heart, and then breathing into the core, and then breathing into the root and sacral. It's good when you can master the body and the vital energy to drive the body, as well as master the mind and the emotional space. It's nice when you use meditation and spiritual practices for total well-being. I can feel all my energy is more in balance, and in Ayurveda we talk about the vata and the pitta and the kapha. These energies come into balance. So let's open up our consciousness now to preparing the mind for this day of activity. Let's align to the divine. I center my consciousness in the source of my being. Little affirmative prayer. I center my consciousness in the source of my being, that source of infinite peace, love, goodness, wisdom, and vitality. Let our whole being resonate with this. I stay centered there with my intention, that my every thought in this day, my every word, my every action be a source of uplift, that I may be a blessing to my world. I give thanks for all the blessings I have received, and I pray to continue to stay aligned to divine will. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaskar everyone and welcome to a new day. Well, for me, not a new day for some of you. It's morning here in Trinidad and Tobago, but I'm sure it's more advanced than the eastern countries. So welcome to this day, everyone. This sun day. It's on my mind to speak to you about mindfulness. I say to you that your mind is the most powerful part of you. When the mind has any issues, well, you have a really big issue. Of course, mind involves ego, it involves intellect, and it involves the attention to the body and to the senses and to the thought process that is engaged there. That's what we call it the manas function of the mind. Your mind is a driver. Of course, the ego mind is a driver. The whole mental field is a driving field. So it's extremely important how conscious you are of your mental dimension. Extremely important. And that's why the practice of mindfulness is extremely important. And the question I will ask to you here is that, are you mindful of every thought? Are you really mindful of every thought? Are you really in the moment with your thoughts? Are you mindful not just of the thoughts that play in the mind, but also of the thought patterns, the mindset, the attitude? The mental patterns. Are you really conscious of them? Are you conscious when you are negative in your thinking? Are you conscious when you are revengeful in your thinking? Are you conscious when you are unforgiving in your thinking? Are you conscious of these mental frames? Are you conscious when you are self-righteous, when you think you're more right than anybody else? Are you conscious of these things? Because a mindset is like a grip, a hold, that holds you in an energy pattern that may be uplifting or may be depressing. And mental patterns that are not uplifting, they take your energy away. They sap your energy away. And mental patterns that are uplifting, they boost your energies. So every negative thought is an expenditure of energy that you don't need. How many negative thoughts pass through your day? Thoughts that are not really necessary and are worthless. Are you mindful of that? I love just observing how my body responds to positive energy. Of course, sometimes I'm so into what I'm doing outside of me that my body doesn't get at that moment fullest attention. And if I'm using emotions in the space, then I'm expending energies. If I'm using energies to motivate someone, to shock them into into thinking positively or to helping them to awaken, and I use energies in a very vigorous way in the moment with noble intention, but it's an expenditure of energy. And my body has to endure that, whatever I'm doing. So after the event, I would look at my body, I will observe my body and say, what have I done to you here? And then I will recharge it. I'll be mindful of recharging it and bringing it back into a good space. But if I have a strong buffer of energy, if I've been holding my body and recharging it and keeping my cells very energized, I have a strong buffer of energy. So even if I expend energy, I don't feel that I've been drained. I feel it's easier to recharge. It's easier to come back to maximum. And that kind of mindfulness is extremely important. And then when you realize that your thought patterns and your emotional patterns, they really affect every part of you, your bones, your blood, your body cells and their function, your organs and their function. When you realize that your mental patterns, your emotional patterns, your intentions, your desires affect all of these, then that is real mindfulness. And when you can feel how your stomach changes with these emotions, that your appetite goes, your sense of hunger becomes compromised, then you realize how important it is to be mindful of all these energy patterns in your consciousness space. Are you so mindful? That is the practice. So that kind of mindfulness requires a certain detachment. Because if you're caught up in thoughts and ideas and ego in your operation, you don't have that distancing that allows you to see the quality of your thoughts, the effect of your thoughts. So it's extremely, extremely important to be so conscious as you begin your day that you are aware of every energy play in your consciousness space. All the thought patterns, all the emotional patterns, what the desires, the drives that you embrace, what they do to you. It's extremely, extremely important. And then maintaining, as much as you can, positive thought patterns that can energize you at every level, nourish you mentally, emotionally, vitally, physically. And your body absorbs energy, and the energies of your mind. For example, think of the water content of the body. We are told it's about 70%. So that water absorbs energy. And of course, I've told you how we see in the work of Dr. Emoto, the crystalline structures that are there shows that it is holding energies. And your cells, you can imagine these little creatures, they depend on you for nourishment, not just at a physical level, from the food and the water and the air. They depend on you for the mental support, the emotional support, the energetic support that comes from your subtle field, the pranic support. They depend on you for that. That's why we are told that when we are more loving, we are more positive, our body thrives. So how about being mindful of that? This body, we must realize, is a gift from nature. It's a precious gift. Nature gave you this body as a soul. So you are the guardian of the body. In the same way that we humans are meant to be guardians of the planet, that we have the power to protect the planet, so too we are guardians of the physical body. How mindful are you of your guardianship? How mindful are you? How mindful are you of the thirst of the body and when it really needs water? How mindful are you of the food that you eat, the quality of food that you eat, and the amount that you eat? How mindful are you of what these do to the body? How mindful are you? How mindful are you of how important sleep is to the body? Now, when you study the circadian rhythm, you should know that you should be in bed before 11. And you should ensure that you sleep, deep sleep in those hours of 11 to 3. The liver and the gallbladder are operating in those hours according to the circadian rhythm of the Chinese medicine. How conscious are you of the amount of sleep that your body needs? And how critical that is to your vitality and to your well-being. Be conscious of that. And I've been telling you to be conscious of the energies that you carry to bed. How's your mind when you enter sleep? How's your mind? Did you go to sleep with worry in your mind? With negative patterns of thinking? Then it sustained you into sleep. And your sleep, well, the body's rest becomes compromised. How conscious are you? How conscious are you of your relationships in your daily life? To see what it does to you at every level. How conscious are you? What it does to your mental world, to your emotional world, to the physical world. How conscious are you of what your relationships in the world around you do to your body? So you see how important mindfulness is? But more importantly, the fact is that we have the power to be mindful. Not that we don't. We have the power to be mindful. It's a capacity that we have. It's a functionality that we have. It's a power that we have. It's a faculty that we have to be mindful, to be conscious, to be aware. And that's what I do in the Guru Gita. I'm totally mindful of every word. I'm totally mindful of where it is coming from. And even as I chant in the rhythm and the movement, I'm conscious of everything at every level of my being. And that's simply beauty. Because when I want to chant more loud, I go lower down to the root and I ground in the body. And I open the belly and I hold the body in that field that it can bring out the best in the chanting. Not that I'm speaking to you. You may not see, but I'm operating from such a strong level of rootedness in the body and centeredness at every level. And I'm able to hold you in a space that is highly uplifting and engaging. That's all because of mindfulness at its best. I'm conscious even of the beauty of the hand posture. I'm conscious of the quality of the voice and the silence behind it. I'm conscious of the floor beneath me. I'm conscious of the air around me. I'm conscious of the water element in my body. I should be stopping to take a drink now, but I am not. I want to complete this speaking to you, and then I'll drink. But it's so beautiful to use the power of awareness in everything that you do. That's mindfulness. Learn to be mindful, everyone. Of course, I can speak volumes to this. And even more so, I can communicate the energies of this. all I'm seeking to do is to inspire you. My greatest joy is seeing more consciousness in the world, seeing a more conscious world, a more aware world, a more unitive world, a more happy world, a more enlightened world, a more healthy world. That's my goal. And that is the goal of the Blue Star. So with these words, I want to thank you for joining us this morning in this beautiful session. And I want to wish all of you a marvelous day wherever you are, in God consciousness and higher consciousness. And those of you who will be joining me in conversation this afternoon, I look forward to it in my afternoon. In this month, we have this conversation today, and we have one more. And I'm thinking deeply as to how my new year will be in terms of conversation, because my seeking is really to inspire you to practice. Just to announce that the 40 days of next year will be the path of sadhana. I'll be more focused on you assimilating the message. You know, I always say that well, of course, we are told as well, there are 3 steps to wisdom. One is listening, Shravan, which is gathering of the information. Next one is Manan, turning it in the mind, processing it, contemplating it. And when we have a good understanding, a clear understanding, the best understanding we have, the next is to assimilate it, become it, live it. That's called nididhyasana. That is what I'm focused on in the next year. The assimilation. The bringing it into every level of being, of all this knowledge that we have gathered. So I can't say yet how it's going to feature, but that's my goal for the next year, 2021. It's the assimilation of the knowledge. It's living it. It's living the way. And in Eastern thinking, it's called a Tao. Living the Tao. It's a path of sadhana. So I look forward to seeing those of you who I'll see in the afternoon. My afternoon. We look forward to conversation. And I want to wish all of you a marvelous Sunday. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for your company. And thank you for opening up my space that I can enjoy more of me. Because you are me as well. Have a blessed day. Namaskar.